Hi everyone, this is Ruben from I'm the Zcoin's community manager, and before we begin with our sort of like update on Zcoin, I actually wanted to cover a bit on something that happened recently with Zcash. Now note, we have no beef with Zcash. We actually think it's a really excellent project, and they're really pushing the boundaries. Despite being competitors, we do think that they're pushing the boundaries of anonymity technology. Of course, in doing so, they're sacrificing some security by using experimental technology that's not completely proven. And but besides that, we just wanted to sort of highlight like some of the benefits of Zcoin as compared to Zcash, especially in things like this. Now, what actually happened was Peter Todd, a very respected applied cryptography consultant, and he's actually also a Bitcoin. He's actually a Bitcoin core developer and contributor as well. So it's a very well-known person in the circle. And he actually participated in Zcash trusted party setup. And the whole idea of the multi-party trusted setup was that I think it was like 6 people, they go to different locations and they destroy parts of the parameters so that as long as it's destroyed correctly and they don't all collude, then most likely the parameters are safe. Now, what does this mean, right? The parameters are actually the things that were used to generate the Zcash sort of anonymity setup. And if it is broken, what it actually allows is for forgery of coins. So what forgery of coins means is that coins can be sort of like created out of thin air, and because of Zcash sort of setup where amounts are unknown, this type of things can't even be detected, so they lose supply auditability, which is one of the sort of cornerstones of Zcoin. But let's take a look at what Peter Todd actually says about this issue. And what he's saying is that turns out that Zcash trusted setup was built with a version of Rust released a day prior. That means a day prior, and the Rust compiler isn't deterministically built. So the Rust maintainers and many others could have trivially backdoored Zcash, right? So of course Zuko from Zcash, I think he's the CEO of Zcash, he replied that he doesn't think that's a problem. But yeah, so Peter, who is like actually a party to this multi-party set and a very well-respected cryptographer, actually does think it's a problem. So let's go a bit into what does this mean, right? So what does this deterministically built mean? So when you compile a piece of source code, right? So the code is just basically binary, like just all code. It's like this is the source code, right? And these are the binaries. The binaries are basically the programs, the things that you can actually execute and use as executables, right? So so usually what deterministically built compilers is means that whenever you compile the source code, you will get this binary. So that the binary came from the source code. Now, if you don't know that the binary came from the source code, it could mean actually that the source code, the binary was tampered with and something was inserted that was not from the source code. Because the source code is open source, right? Everyone can take a look at the code and make sure there are no backdoors. But if the binary used is actually not you can't verify that it was built from the source code, then it's pointless to have your source code open source, because you could have inserted a backdoor inside. And that's why if you don't trust our binaries, you can always build the source code yourself. Now so his point is that because the compilers used were not deterministically built, and on top of that it was just released a day prior, so he says that the timing's a bit suspect. So even you have all this type of safeguards, because of this particular use of Rust, a backdoor could have been inserted into a Zcash. Now, of course, he doesn't have proof of this. He's just highlighting that this was a possible thing. and you know, he's like saying that, you know, the timing of it smells bad, but it's all circumstantial. It's not proven, so it's not, Zcash isn't broken per se. I mean, well, not known to be broken, but he's just highlighting that, you know, there's a potential issue, there was a potential loophole. We may never know whether this loophole was taken advantage of. Now, Peter felt strongly enough on this to actually take down his posts on his participation in this multi-trusted setup. So it's quite a big thing. And actually, if you can actually go through Google Cache and see a previous version, this was what it used to look like. You know, he goes into very detail as what he did. You know, even shows pictures of him destroying the memories. Pretty cool stuff. So, you know, good reading as well. But yeah, you know, he feels that this vulnerability or potential vulnerability is sort of, you know, serious enough for him to take down this post. Now, so how does this all relate to Zcoin, right? Because I think like this particular sort of this problem actually highlights one of the strong points of Zcoin. And if you take a look, actually someone actually asked Peter, is Zcoin affected? And you can see here that Tom actually asked, does Zcoin include the same? And Peter replies, Zcoin uses very different math. In my recent recollection, its trusted setup cleverly uses the RSA challenge produced many years ago. And that is correct. Our initial parameters didn't go through a very complicated multi-party setup. It basically took parameters from academic cryptographic challenge held some 26 years ago in 1991 by RSA Labs, and it had a $200,000 US dollar bounty on top of it. So if you broke the RSA factoring challenge, you actually got that money. So there was a huge incentive to actually break it, right? And RSA did actually, you know, take certain steps to make sure that the parameters were destroyed. And as far as we know, or as far as anyone knows right now, you know, there isn't, no one knows how to factor out the parameters used in Zcoin. Now, the other thing that's good about the, you know, Libzerocoin as used in Zcoin is that even if it was broken, because of our supply auditability, it's a lot easier to detect this. Well, which isn't the case with Zcash. Now, let's go a little bit more into what we're talking about, our parameter setup. So, you know, for those of you a bit geeky and want to take a look at how the parameters were created, especially when in comparison to Zcash, you can take a look that, you know, a ComSire QNG hardware random generator was used, and the RSA B-Safe library. Of course, the laptop's hard drive was destroyed. But I think the main thing is what there was a huge bounty on top of it. It was an academic challenge. No one had any sort of thought that this would be, no one could have foreseen that this, you know, competition parameters would have been used in a coin. And even if there was an issue with it, you know, you most likely could detect it. And well, what is a ComSci QNJ hardware random generator? I didn't know myself, and I actually looked it up and was very impressed. Because if you take a look, they are quantum random number generators, basically using quantum technology, you know, quantum physics, to actually generate truly random numbers. Random numbers are really important in cryptography. It's probably beyond my pay grade to explain why, but you know, if you want to solve cryptography, you know, usually one of the key things to crypto is the random number generator. But through the use of, you know, quantum random number generators, and these are like, they're considered like to be the industry leader, you know, that's used by very important Fortune 500 companies and stuff like that. So, you know, this is probably the best random number generator that you can get, and it was indeed used in our parameter setup. So you don't have to worry whether, you know, the numbers were truly random or not. And RSA B-Safe was used. So actually, there was actually a recent scare from Ars Technica on this, the return of Coppersmith's attack, practical factorization of widely used RSA module lie. So a couple of you guys messaged us, it's like, whoa, you know, is RSA broken? You know, are you affected? Because they also use RSA 2048. but it was actually a vulnerability that's actually limited to this particular library, RSA library version by Infineon. And as you can see, we use RSA B safe, so we're not affected by this. So yeah, you don't have to worry about this. It's only a vulnerability in this particular library. It's not RSA is broken. So yeah, I thought this was like an interesting piece of news that sort of highlighted some of the advantages that Zcoin has by using very proven technologies and having an auditable supply, and and our trusted setup. Although we want to move away from it through Sigma, even as it is, it's actually pretty secure, at least for the good, at least until probably 2030. And if you take a look, RSA 2048, this is recommended by NIST, and you can see that it's good until RSA 2 factoring modulus 2048 is good until 2030, by which time we hope, well, hopefully Sigma has taken over or something else, right? So yep, just wanted to highlight that. Now let's get into the updates. Yeah, before we go into that, actually, if you take a look at, there are a few other projects out there that are using the Zcoin implementation, and they're all using the same parameters from the RSA factoring challenge. And I think it's quite a good testament to Poromin, because Poromin was the one who came up with the idea to do this, and everyone now who is using this RSA parameters can probably thank Poromin's joint work while he was at Johns Hopkins, when he was trying to figure out what's the best way to implement Zcoin. So yeah, right. So let's talk about our new beautiful website. It's probably 99% done. Still feel stuff that may not be correct, like our roadmap, which I'll show later. But it's I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys are too. Take a look at all these animations. A lot of work has gone into it. We'd like to thank Tonak and Cornelius from Neonwise, who spent a lot of time doing this. Sebastian especially also helped to oversee this whole thing, and I think they've really done a good job. Look at all this moving stuff. It's really good looking. Yes, no, we aren't leaking this. Now, the only thing that probably will need to change a little bit is the roadmap. Because the roadmap, although it looks really good, it's probably a bit too vague. And some of the timing is right. We'll go into this timing a bit later about where we stand on stuff. But it's pretty, and this is probably the thing that we want to improve before finalizing the website. But it's live, you can take a look, and we are aware of the issues. We've also made it a lot more user friendly to get it. So last time there was all this GitHub thingies here, so now it's pretty easy. You just download it straight. All the places to buy and mine Zcoin all here. And we're working on getting the translations for the different languages out. So yeah, stay tight for that. Now, tomorrow, or actually now it's 12 a.m. Later today, I'll be actually heading to Bangkok. And actually, Eisen, Sebastian, Aaron, and Poromin, of course, we'll be meeting in Bangkok to discuss the future of Zcoin, because it would be good to get all the team together, have a very serious discussion, and we're going to strategize the next steps, development direction, marketing efforts, and to also discuss new hires as well, which we are looking to expand our team. And we also found a very good project manager called Ancient. We're just sorting out some of the paperwork, and hopefully you can join us as soon as possible. And we are really moving to become a very professional team. It's taken a bit of a while, but hang in tight. Patience does pay off, and I'm really happy that we're moving to a more professional level. On top of that, actually, Eisen and SN are currently in Singapore to actually explore potential new partnerships with Zcoin. And well, we can't announce anything just yet, but we are looking to partner with other projects as well. As soon as we have something a bit more concrete, we'll announce that. but you know, we aren't just staying still and not doing anything. Aaron will also be heading to Bali to attend a Block Bali conference, but he's also organizing a Zcoin sort of meetup in Ubud, Bali on the 24th of October. And you know, Indonesia is a really big market for us. You know, I think it was probably like the second biggest market through Bitcoin Indonesia. Thanks so much for all the support. And we would love to meet you guys and engage, you know, anyone who's a Zcoin fan. There's a lot of cool merchandise that will be up for grabs, you know, including this nifty shirt. And so yes, please do drop by. I'll probably post more details on Twitter and Facebook and all this thing. And I'll probably in the WhatsApp groups as well. So yes, you know, please do show your support. We really want to meet our Indonesian fans as well. Now, quick update on our social media. So we're doing very well, actually. We've sort of, wow, now 10.5k. The last I looked was 10.2, 10.3k. So our Twitter is rapidly growing. You know, just I think a few, like, what was it, 1 or 2 months ago, we're probably at 3,000, and now we're like way past 10,000. So you know, we hope to engage. We would like to hear from you. So whenever we tweet, you know, if you have any questions or you want to engage us, you know, we are probably the most active on Twitter. So yeah, do reach out, and thanks so much for all the support. You know, we really like to hear from you guys. Another thing is that our Slack, we probably, you know, we had a poll because a lot of us were experiencing a lot of spam and a lot of scams from My Ether wallet and all this sort of stuff. And we basically couldn't take it because Slack is really poorly designed for public communities. So it was more meant for like work. So there weren't any sort of fine-grained controls to actually, you know, control all these things. We couldn't ban people very easily. We couldn't have, like, you know, well, we found it really difficult to manage, and therefore we actually held a poll. Where was it? We held a poll, you know, about a week back, and 59% of you said let's use Discord. And Discord is pretty nice. It was actually designed for gaming, but it has all these really nice controls. Like, sorry, Anach, you know, we can kick or ban. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, you know, we also can have like different tiers and levels of people. So you can see here that we have this tier community elves, which are basically volunteers from the community who agree to sort of help to mod our Discord pro bono. And they don't represent the views of our Zcoin team at all, but you know, help to manage the Discord. So if you're interested and you are already, like, you know, a respected member within the community, no, we're not looking at newcomers, please let us know, and we'll see, you know, we can get you in as a community elf. So yes, what is else on that Discord? I'll send the Discord link a bit later. I'll also incorporate it on our website. We're really liking it so far. Okay, so now what has happened on development updates? So we did a minor release about a day ago. It's mostly bug fixes, where we increased the spend transaction limit to 5. It's currently at 1. Because due to security reasons, we'll probably increase this later when we're very sure our Zcoin code is top notch. We also actually found a bug where certain spends were taking a long time to be included in the block. So, you know, it stayed unconfirmed for many hours. We found the issue. We're currently waiting a bit before we push it to the pools, because we just want to make sure that it's all okay. But it does definitely include your spends into the block right now, so it looks to be a very good solution for this. And for those people who have like an existing stuck transaction, you know, you can go here. Like, for example, if this was a stuck spend, which isn't because it's already confirmed, I can actually rebroadcast that transaction so it re-enters the pool, and what that will do is that then the pools can pick it up and process it once the pools have upgraded. We'll keep you posted. For those of you with start spends, you know, we have not forgotten about you. We've tested it so far and it seems to be working. It's just a matter of making sure that the pools are stable to update to this release. Okay, all right, so on top of that, what's happening with the Libzerocoin? So Libzerocoin is the software library that sort of underpins Zerocoin. And you can take a look there. We've still been busy at work. More or less the code's done. If you can see that, you know, his last commit 5 days ago, because we've just been testing it and make sure that everything's in order. I think what Permin was a bit concerned about was the transition from the old Zerocoin scheme to the new Zerocoin scheme, which requires a hard fork. So we're trying to make sure that, you know, it goes smoothly. So, you know, we rather do it as right. So give us a bit more time. You know, the code is ready, it's all here, and you know, we believe that we're probably like the first ones that actually have improved the Zerocoin lib significantly. Like, this is not just it's actually a serious security upgrade. It really improves the Zerocoin, and there's actually another scheduled improvement maybe in a month or so, where Peter Triglav is cleaning up the Zerocoin code, and he's found ways to actually improve it even further. I wouldn't spoil it for you guys, but the massive improvements, the massive performance improvements, and even like anonymity gains on top of that. So stay tuned for that. Peter is working really hard on that, and you know, we are continuing to really actively develop Zerocoin. We're not just resting on our laurels. So, you know, for those of you who are asking, well, you know, what's the difference in your implementation and some other coins implementation, you can see for ourselves, we are putting serious work into Zerocoin and not just implementing it as it is. And we are, once we have like locked this Zerocoin implementation down, this leaves us in a very good state to develop Sigma, to remove the trusted setup and things like that. But we really want to make at least Zerocoin the best that is, so that even other coins who want to use it, they have to come and use it from us. And, you know, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and we hope we set the standard for Zerocoin technology. Right, so Znode development is progressing smoothly with Eisen and SN. You know, they've already looked through the code. You know, they're making sure that laying out all the components that need to be done for the Znodes to be done. I've told them that, you know, we're still on track for mid of November. I'll keep you posted. You know, if that changes, we are really trying hard to make the deadline. And I think probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks we'll probably be able to really commit to the timeline on that, so we know that we're not going to run into some unexpected, well, a much better idea whether we're going to run into any sort of problems, but for the moment everything looks good. Okay, so the graphic user interface is also something that we've been working on. This other guy also called Peter, his name is Peter Davis. We've given him, he came out with a first draft which actually showed in the last video update. We aren't, well, it looked good, but it probably wasn't functional because he didn't quite understand how the Zerocoin functions work. So we come up with a new layout. He's working on that, and probably in the next few days we should get a new mock-up, and we put it out for public to sort of give comments on. We'll probably follow our color scheme here. You know, our first version had like white and green, but maybe this blackish with green looks better. It's better with the branding and stuff, and it'll make a wallet look a lot better. So, you know, stay tuned. We know that our wallet looks like crap, and we are definitely really wanting to improve this. Hopefully we have a really good looking wallet than any other coin, especially a privacy coin. So, okay, P2P development, the sort of decentralized pool is almost there. SwiftSam and DevWarrior from community members have done a lot of work. We're just encountering one fire bug that we can't just get it to work. hopefully it won't take too long to identify. You know, SwiftSam has reached out to us to see where the problem might be. We'll probably only be able to look at this maybe later in the week when, you know, we finish the meeting and everything, but we are actively working on it. So hopefully we would have a decentralized pool, and we might even, you know, incentivize people to switch to the decentralized pool by having an additional, instead of by having negative fees. Like, you know, right now other fees are charging like 1%, 0.9%, but maybe we might give a part of our bounty wallet to sort of incentivize for the people to use the decentralized pool for at least to get that hash rate over. So yeah, we're really excited about this, and we really want to have P2 pool up as soon as possible to, you know, avoid centralization of hash rate. Now MTP has really good news. Now, you know, initially there was I know the Alexei and Dimitri thought they could come up with a new version of the paper in October. That doesn't look to be the case right now, because they have a lot of other commitments as well, and especially with Mark Bavan's research and Fabian Coelho's research. They want to make sure that they can address all of this. They are now estimating about early December for their new paper to come out, and we're in touch with them, and we just want to make sure that they're very confident that they can improve MTP, and we're very excited to see what happens at the end of in the beginning of December. It doesn't look to be like, so far it doesn't look to be like very massive changes in code. It doesn't look like it's changing MTP completely. And it just seems to be some parameter changes, certain optimizations here and there. So that's really good news for us, because it means that we don't have to rewrite our code significantly. I wouldn't dare to sort of say how long our development would take until we see the paper, but so far it looks good. We hope maybe the first half of 2018. We know people are waiting for it, but we see no point to release MTV version 1 when all these vulnerabilities have been exposed, and we are hoping MTV version 2 will really set us apart from other POW, proof of work coins. So that's it from me. You know, we are in good shape, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll probably have a next video update maybe at the end of next week. But you know, I'll be always available in Discord, Twitter, and all the other places as well. And you know, thanks a lot for supporting Zcoin, and we hope not to let you down. Thank you.